stacking wins, I'm never done. On the field, I'm number one. Pressure heavy, weigh a ton. Yeah.
Welcome to the Man Utd stream. Hope you're doing well. It is. Let me just double check everything first. Let me just double check if everything of mine is working fine. It seems like it is. It seems like it is. Welcome to the Man Utd stream. Hope you're doing well. Ivan, you've beat me to it. You've beat me to it. Ivan, already saying that we should have Amarin out. I'm sick and tired of that manipulator. Let's bring that up on the screen. That is... Oh, I'm pissed, guys. I'm pissed. I can't... Look, I don't know what to say. I'm exhausted. I'm tired of the lies, the betrayal, the fake rebuild. The rebuild that they keep telling us is happening. And, oh, look, we've turned a bloody corner. What corner? What corner are we turning, guys? Because I can't see us having turned any flipping corner. I can't see any changes. I've been watching United, guys. I've been watching United. And this is probably the worst I've seen United play. And I keep being told by fans and people that, no, look, this is going good. Just have a bit more patience. Be patient. Stop calling it out like it is. Please, look, forget what you're seeing. Refuse to accept what you're witnessing. And just talk about something else. That's what they want me to do. That's what people are doing out there. Some fans. I have to question whether they're actual United fans, though. I'm going to be honest. Are these guys real Man United fans who can sit here and watch this shit and accept that this is what United should be playing like? Surely not. Surely not. Fans who witnessed Man United under the Busby Babes or Alex Ferguson, surely them fans are watching this football and saying, this is not good enough. This is not the Man United. This is not in their DNA. This should not be allowed. This is criminal. This is not what should be allowed to happen at Old Trafford. Yet, we've got sections of fans who are just simply sat there. And I've seen some of the reactions, man. I've seen some of the reactions. I've seen some of these so-called fans who are sat there. And their reaction to yesterday's loss is, oh, yeah, oh, you know, I was happy. We were happy with the first half and most of the second half. It's only the last 10 minutes of the game where we weren't really happy with the game. But other than that, Man United played really well. What game were you flipping watching? What game were you watching? Because I wasn't watching the same flipping game. I was watching some other flipping game. I'm seriously trying not to swear here. I'm trying to put in words that I can use rather than F or whatever else you want to use. But I might end up having to swear. I don't want to, because I don't know who's watching. There could be a younger crowd watching, and they might not be happy with the swearing. But I've thought about this, guys. I've thought about it. Do you know what? When I'm watching the game live, I'm reacting to it, and I don't want to react to it live because I know that I might say something that might be controversial, something that someone might not like, and then I have to go take myself away from the game, sit back, watch it again, go through everything again, see whether I was watching the game and whether I was taking in the wrong things, whether I was looking at it in a completely different way and I was wrong. But I sat back, listened to Ruben Amorim's press conference, and I just thought, no, this is bullshit, man. I've had enough. I've had enough of this shit. I've had enough of this gaslighting. I've had enough of this gaslighting. This just smoke screen. They're putting a smoke screen in front of us, guys. We've got to wake up as Man United fans. I want everyone to be the same. And I don't want to mislead anybody. I especially don't want to be misleading any of my subscribers. Anyone who's watching this channel, I don't want to be talking shit. Telling you guys, oh, look, guys, be patient. Be happy. Be happy with what you're getting. You should be grateful. You should be grateful for United playing, at least getting you 1 win in 3. You should be grateful of that. You should be grateful that the players are even coming out playing for you guys. You don't deserve it, Man United fans. That's what I should be saying. But that's absolute bullshit. That's bullshit. And I'm not going to have any of it. And neither do I want anybody else from the Man United fan base to take this and go with it and say, yeah, this is it. This is our future. Ineos are a complete fraud. They've come in saying that they're the Messiah. They're going to change everything. They're going to bring us new hope. They're going to change the way we've been doing things. But in fact, we've regressed. We've become worse. At least with the Glazers, you could force them into signing 1 or 2 top players every summer. At least you could force them into doing things. At least you could say, look, yeah, these guys are shit. At least we had the villains. At least they accepted their bloody roles. You know, the Glazers, they were happy. They were like, yeah, we're the villains in this one. We accept it. We accept our role. We're the bad guys. The problem is, Ineos and Jim Ratcliffe, they're wolves dressed up in sheep's clothing. That's what they are. So they've come to do us over, but yet they're claiming that they're going to change things. They're claiming that they're going to come in and make a difference to United. That's the biggest effing problem, man. I'm stopping myself from swearing. Now, last night, you watched the live stream with me. I mean, must have been a warning sign. My stream went off. It must have been a sign to say, stop watching it, Travis. Stop. Do not put yourself through this pain. Do not. You're 1-0 up. And the stream just went dead. And that's the first time it's happened to me ever. And I'm thinking, wait up, what's gone on there? Stream, everything, everything's working, but the stream's gone down. I'm thinking, wait up, there's something wrong. Anyway, I pulled the stream back on again. And then we're watching the game and United lose a goal. And I'm thinking to myself, what the flip, man? What the fuck is going wrong, man? Seriously. I can't. There's no other way of expressing myself. There is no other way of feeling what all man. Honestly, I felt like crying. I did. I felt like crying. I turned off the stream. I went away, sat down in a dark room and sat there for at least 5-10 minutes, guys, contemplating what the flip is going on with this team and how much more I can take. And I thought, what is going on? How can this team be this bad? We've gone from winning everything with Sir Alex Ferguson, not accepting anything but a win. I remember times when Sir Alex Ferguson would come inside in the press room after a draw and he would be furious. He would not accept it. And the words I always remember him saying were this is Man United. That kind of result is unacceptable at Man United. Them are the words. I remember them clearly. This is Man United. That kind of result is not allowed. It's not acceptable. So why are we now succumb to this shit? Why are we accepting this? Why? Anyway, guys, that's my initial rant. Let's just go into the chats and see what everyone else is saying. And yeah, just see if anyone can calm the situation down, because these guys are criminals. These guys are criminals. Jim Ratcliffe, Amrin, the players, they're all flipping. They're committing crime right now against Man United. Spin. Ineos are gaslighting us. Niche, yeah, 100%. Ivan says, Kuna and Mbumo, best players last season. Bruno is the GOAT. Ahmad is Amadinho. Zertsky got Bologna Champions League. Euro is a prodigy. Dogu is the next monstrous left back. Ugarte got celebrated after selling Scott. Exactly, man. Exactly. We are being gaslit here. I can go on and on. Of course, it's the players. Yep. We need, Neville says, we need to remember is that this season is a dogfight. Every massive team fall to smaller teams. This is utter Frankenstein of a team, and people expect 4 signings to take us top 4. It's very difficult, Neville. It's so difficult to play in this league right now. Travis, you're right. We are these fans who reckon this is okay. Yeah, there's so many of them. I mean, okay, not so many, but there are fans out there who are calm, who are relaxed and happy to watch this kind of football. This is an absolute embarrassment. It's an embarrassment. And if you're not feeling embarrassed from what we've done at Old Trafford, 2 games on a trot, you need your head checking. You need to question whether you know what you're watching. We yesterday had fans boo off the team. The Old Trafford fans, the people who'd gone out there, who'd wasted their good money and their good time. And I did a video on it, a reaction video this morning. And look, guys, do you know what? Dave's just joined in. So, and Dave's someone who we know goes out to most games away and home, right? And I feel sorry for people like that. I really do. And I sat back and I thought, whoa, I would have been that guy. I would have been that guy. I would have been a fan who was there. And what would I have been doing? I would have been booing them off the pitch as well. I would have been utterly frustrated, having wasted most of my day travelling there, getting there. You know, it takes time to get in and all that. Then sitting there watching these players not even run, not even give a shit. And then walk off the pitch like they should be applauded for even doing that. That's the weird thing about it. These players have got no shame, guys. They've lost the ability to be embarrassed or shamed by anybody. Even when they were getting booed off the pitch, you saw these players and they didn't give a shit. They were just clapping back, walking off the pitch. They should have hung their heads in shame and walked off that pitch. But yet they were very much like, yeah, isn't this what you expect? Are you not entertained? Isn't this what you need? Isn't this what you want as fans? This is what they're saying to us. Absolute bollocks, man. Absolute bollocks. Look, patience was everything at the start of the season, yet when dips come with patience goes out the window. Ineos need to get the wallet out in January. Yeah, look, Neville, do you know what? I'm a patient guy. I'm actually optimistic. I'm positive as a fan. I am. If you watch back the 3-4 years that I've been doing this online, I'm the most positive you can find. I swear. Even when people were talking shit about United doing this and doing that, I'm the one who's saying, look, United, let's be positive. Let's be positive. Look, we're going to go and sign this guy. We're going to go and sign that guy. Look, we're going to hopefully get a takeover. Ineos took over. And even then, even though I knew Ineos were not the solution, even though I knew that, I had to put a brave face on it. I had to say, let's go. Let's go with the positivity. Let's accept that Ineos are going to make a change. Let's accept that we are going to become a better team under Ineos. Let's hope so. Fingers crossed. But deep down, I knew. I'm going to be honest. Deep down, I knew these guys haven't got the caliber. They haven't got the money. They haven't got the outlook to go and make a change, make a difference to Man United, because they would have done that to Nice. They would have done that to Club Nice out in France. An easier league. And arguably, you've only got PSG to compete against. And yet they couldn't even do that with a club out there. What makes us think that Ineos were going to do any better with a giant of a club like United in a very difficult league? The Premier League, the most difficult league in the world. So yeah, patience. Look, man, Neville, ran out of that yesterday massively. I mean, it got depleted. It got depleted in a big way. And it doesn't just get depleted from watching United play. It also gets depleted with listen to what the manager has to say. If he came out and said, that's unacceptable, it is awful, I would have held him in higher regard. But yesterday, from the excuses he come out with, but we'll touch on that later on in the show. Ivan says last season's team was 15th, not a 15th team. We could get 14th, and people say progress completely not seeing the bigger picture. Yeah. Neville says got to look at Ineos doing at needs. Yeah, I said that. Yeah, destroying it, destroying the club. Chev, you're saying, I genuinely believe Roy Keane is the answer to Manchester United problems. The club has lost its standards, its discipline, its identity. Keane understands what Manchester United truly represent. Big up, big up. I love that. That's what we need, man. We need more of these kind of fans. We need these type of people. So, Chev, that's it, man. This is what we're talking about. We need discipline. We need standards. And do you know what? People people look at Roy Keane and they laugh at him. Not with him, they laugh at him. Some fans actually find him comical. Some fans think he's extreme. And they're like, oh yeah, Roy Keane, he talks a lot of shit. He goes off a bit. He goes off on one. And, he's too harsh on the players and on Man United. And sometimes they say he's against Man United. But he's not. He's not. He's just from an era where he expects different. He knows different. These players were playing under a manager who did not accept anything but the best. The standards were completely different. But why have we lost them standards? Why is Ineos and everyone coming in saying, it's okay, we don't need to play that good. We're okay. Finishing 15th last season was acceptable. The players get to stay. The players get to stay. The manager gets more time. And this season, finishing maybe 10th will be fine. That's what I get like. That's what I feel like. That's what they're saying. I feel like Ineos are saying to us, "Shut up, sit down. You fans don't know what you're talking about." A progression and moving up to 10th position is fine. We don't need to qualify for Champions League. Neville says the irony, Ivan. The irony is you're saying others can't see the bigger picture. I'd be shocked if we finish below 7th, 8th. Last year's squad. The problem, Neville. Do you know what the crazy thing is though? I'm worried right now. This is my take on it. Right now we've got all the clubs shitting on themselves all around us. We've got Liverpool screwing up. We've got Chelsea screwing up. We've got all these clubs that you expect to not concede, not to lose. They're losing right now. They're in bad form just in this space of time. Now, this is our time to take advantage. Now, we're not going to do that. But the problem with United is, and this is the problem, we're not going to improve. We're going to carry on. This is us. This is us at the best. This is us at our best. Yet we know other teams around us, like Chelsea, Liverpool, all these teams that are currently in bad form, they'll come good. They will start playing well again. This is their little blip. Problem with us, I'm looking at it now and thinking, is this the best we're going to get? Is this the best we're going to get with Ruben Amorim and his tactics and his players? And if that's the case, we're shafted. This is the only opportunity we've got to make inroads. And after that, we're going to get shafted. Because once these teams start winning, we're going to fall further back down, further to 11th or 12th. And before we know it, we're going to be back to 15th. So many fans like you, Evan, have amnesia, mate. But bet you were quite before international break before. Thought that except the season most competitive we had in years. Big team. Look, I get that. I get. Look, we were moving. It has dropped points. The smaller clubs we do expect. Yes, 1 point from Everton, West Ham. Is not a progress. If anything, we are lucky because everyone else is dropping points. Yeah, I've just said that, Evan. After watching this Dross live yesterday, you watch Wolves having the best game of their season against us. Do you know what? Most people are calling this out as Wolves going and are going to win us, and are going to have a great great time against us. I don't know. I think United will win. I think United will win against Wolves, but that's the way we are. We're going up and down. We win a game, we lose a game. We win a game, we lose a game. It's not easy. It's not easy having that. I agree you about Ineos, but not Amrin. We have we know that he wasn't given the tools he asked for and needed. This is why the players were scrambling to sign. Look, there's an element. Yeah, I agree. Look, he hasn't been given the tools. He hasn't got the players. He could argue that, and we saw that yesterday in the bench. He didn't have anybody off the bench, but there was some massive questionable substitutions yesterday. I mean, I was left really confused. I was left really confused with everything he did yesterday, and it's like he comes good one game, Ruben Amorim. He makes all the right decisions against Crystal Palace, but then next game, boom, straight into it. He just completely goes down the same path again, makes the wrong substitutions, and yesterday were massive problems. That's why you're upset, because other teams drop points, and I am upset. I'm upset because I'm watching a great opportunity that we're probably not going to get. That's my issue. I'm watching this opportunity and I'm thinking, shit, this is it. This is it. We've been given the opportunity, and we need to take this with both hands, or we're going to regret this. It's like watching a game of football and we're getting chance after chance after chance. We keep missing, and then we're like, they come back to haunt us. And that's exactly what I feel like right now in the Premier League. I feel like we're missing out on a golden opportunity to get somewhere in the Premier League whilst the clubs are failing, because they will come back. Everyone will start playing, and then what would happen? So we could then at least say, look, we've got some confidence. We've got a head start. That's my main issue. It is. Dave said it's really disheartening going to the games and then you have to sit there and watch atrocious football. Yesterday, the manager and players were all having stinkers. I feel for you, Dave. I really do, because that's exactly what I was sat there thinking last night. I was thinking, shit, because I have friends most of my friends go and watch it and stuff, and they were texting me saying, look, we've just left, and you didn't miss out on much. And I just felt sorry for him. I knew, look, they're going to get back late at night and it's going to be cold and trafficy, and they've spent time going there and stuff like that. Welcome everybody, by the way. Apologies for not saying hi to everybody. And Neville, Anish, Ivan, Rick, welcome. Jim, welcome to the show. Look, this show's about venting. It's about getting out what we have on our minds, because I feel like something has to change. Something has to change, guys. Because am I the only one? The team is still fragile. We still have too many passengers. Yeah, man. It's true. We've got. Do I blame Ruben Amorim 100%? No, I don't. Do I put responsibility on him? Of course I do. He's the manager. Ultimately, he is responsible. Do I feel the players are not good enough? I've said that from day one. That these players are the same players that have let down numerous managers. The squad predominantly is made up of players that still is the same set of players that let down numerous managers when it came to the point of proving everybody wrong. They down their tools. These are the same players. Victor, welcome to the show. Amorim is a criminal in the name of a coach. How do you break your attack when you need added fire? Who is Man United playing defensive against? West Ham, my God. This is a consensus by lots of Man United fans yesterday, including myself. He brought on a whole lot of defenders. He brought on Mason Mount, but took off Zertsky. I didn't get that. I didn't get that. You leave on Zertsky. You leave on Kuna. We want a goal. We want a goal or two. You can't take off attackers. You need to pile on the pressure. We needed to put on players that could get the ball into the back of the net. And he didn't do that. He didn't do that. It's just, for me, that's where I just feel like if we had a different manager, a manager who's confident, he could come in and be like, right, okay, do you know what? No, I'm throwing on attackers. I'm throwing on more players. We heard Gary Neville. I watched Gary Neville actually after the game, and he said, look, under Fergie when he was playing, he goes, if we were in that situation, Fergie would take off a defender and put on an attacker. He would take off any defenders what he had, and he'd put on attackers. He would throw the kitchen sink at a 1-1 draw. He would make sure we go and either win or we lose. It doesn't matter. And what, for me, if you're taking off, if I'm playing football and the manager's making, obviously you're not talking to the manager. You don't know what he's doing. You don't know what he's going through. But if he's taking off players and putting on defenders and refreshing the defenders and making the team more defensive, psychologically, that makes you think as a player that the manager wants you to shut up shop. He wants you to defend. He wants you to make sure you don't lose another goal and you take what you've got. So that is my problem with his changes yesterday. He made the changes, and he made the changes almost like, well, look, let's just take the draw and walk off. Although arguably you can say he didn't have a bench. We said this before we kicked off. We were looking at it and I was like, shit, we haven't, apart from Mason Mount, we haven't got any game changer in there, as in going forward. That's the problem. Neville says we have no squad depth yet, but that's correct. Do you not see the back line last night? People are screaming, start Leacher, oh my God, like he isn't just getting reintegrated to the club slowly because one more injury and he's done. Yeah, I get that. But I think the problem is that he starts Haven, a player who's not had much game time. I think he would have been a lot safer to start Lenny Euro if that was the case with Leacher. But then how much integration does he need? He's already he played against Crystal Palace. You'd expect him to now be wanting to play, and Ruben Amorim's holding back. But these are critical games. These are the games we need to be getting in the bag. These are like bankers. These are the ones that you bank on. You think, right, chink, chink, take it in. Boom, bing, take it in. Everton win in the bag. At home against against West Ham in the bag. Boom, bank it. Then the big games come. The ones that you don't know, they could go 50-50. Then you can say, even if we lose them, that's all right. Or if we get a draw out of them games, we're still doing good. But we're not banking the games that we should be banking. That's my issue right now. I might be overreacting, guys. I might be the one who's thinking this is not good. Yeah, and you guys might say, look, take it easy, Travis. This, overreaction. We're going to be fine. Forget it. Amr is either a criminal or an idiot. Look, I think there's obvious signs that Amrin is sometimes out of his depth when it comes to this job. He even says it himself. He admits it. He admits that this is a high pressure job that he struggles with. We saw it after the Grimsby game. He's not lying about it. He's telling us like it is. The Glazers are still involved. Why would anyone invest with as the partners? Yeah, I always say that. I always think that. I always think, why the flip would anyone come into this shit show right now with the Glazers still there with the debt on the club? The question is, how many managers actually get what they want? Even in life, you have to work with what you've got. That's from Dave. Now, Dave, good point. And now yesterday, or this morning actually, I was trying to make up excuses for Ruben Amorim. I was in my own head because I like Ruben Amorim. I've always liked Ruben Amorim as a person, but as a manager, I do have huge question marks over his ability to managing a club like United. And I look at the current squad, and I know the shit players. Look, let's not get anything mixed up, they're shit. But with the current new players that have come in to United and the players that we've had, could a manager come in, a different manager, come in and get better performances out of these players in a different formation, different system, whatever? And I'm being objective here. I'm not saying, look, that's what I want to do or that's my opinion. I'm just looking at it from, look, Travis, don't you get, putting your bias into this. Look at it from an objective point of view. What would it be any different? And you would have to answer that it would be. It would be different. A different manager would come in and get better performances out of these players. That is my issue. I think I heard someone yesterday say, look, playing Dogu in left back position would be better than, he'd be a lot better than a left wing back. Same thing with the other players. They're all playing out of position. And we're playing them out of position. We are playing them out of position. Bro, stop saying we're a giant. Stop saying we're on the same level as Bayern or Real. Real are in the title race. Look, man, we are back in 1 year of we are. We're. Do you know what kills me? It's killing me right now. I'm telling you guys, it's hurting me when I'm facing the same realization that we're gonna have another dead season, another season where we're gonna struggle, and the game's over. It's all over within months of starting the season. That's the only issue I have, man. I have the issue where I'm thinking, how do we overcome this? How do we stop this? How do we help the team and the manager to overcome this current state of affairs? I can't see a solution. I can't see a solution to it. I can't see a way we're gonna get around this. We are meant to be the Real Madrid of the Prem. We need owners who are prepared to fulfill that obligation. Yeah, we are the biggest club in the Premier League. Everyone knows that, but we're not proving that on the pitch, and sooner or later that's gonna become a problem. Travis, I understand the patience is wearing thin. I don't want to see my club burn, but we're talking Roy Keane coming in. What's his manager credentials? No, look, I wouldn't want Roy Keane as a manager. Neville. I wouldn't. What I would probably argue is that we bring in standards of play, like he says. Same thing with the rest of the group from that era. The Beckhams, the Giggs, the Nevilles, the Ferdinands. They all say the same thing, which is, look, standards have dropped. Standards have dropped. This is not acceptable. It shouldn't be acceptable. We need to work a way out of this. We need to. What is the problem? I want solutions. I want to be told by you guys what needs to change. What needs to change? Because from what I can see, either Ruben Amorim is going to walk himself into getting the sack, which he's doing a very good job of right now. Because he keeps on insisting, right, I'm not going to change. I'm not going to play this player. I'm not going to do this. But it's not working. We know this. It's inconsistent. We don't know what United are going to turn up like. Whether a good United is going to turn up, whether a bad United is going to turn up. We know he insists on playing Dalot. How? Why? I'll say this, since I go to games and I also participate online. This season, if we don't get European football, it will sting worse than last year, since teams are consistently dropping points each week. Yeah, that sums up what I'm thinking right now, Dave. For me, that is my crucial point right now. Today, I've woke up and I'm hitting the realization's hitting me that this is the only chance we're going to get. This is going to be worse than last season. Last season, look, we had Ten Hag start off, then we had Ruben Amorim, and of course it was his first season. He inherited this team. We had to write it off. We wrote it off, and it was a hard season to write off because, you've got nothing to look forward to in football terms. You've got nothing, and you feel miserable throughout the whole season, watching other teams compete in the Champions League, in the Premier League, and fighting it out and trying to, and we're there playing week in, week out for nothing. We're there playing for nothing. So it's upsetting. It's upsetting to watch what we have. And I do get for the whole array of fans, and I respect everyone's opinion. But I also know that we all, as Man United fans, want to see where we're going. We want to see that we're competing for something. And I just feel like we're not. I just feel like we're just simply letting this great opportunity just slip through our fingers. Niche, how can we become Real Madrid of the Premier again after 4 new signings brought in? Well, look, we do need signings. I agree. We need signings. We need new signings. Please, anyone who haven't hit the like button, please. Thank you, guys. Yeah, hit the like button, guys. If you haven't already, it'd be nice of you. I know it's not the best time to ask you to hit the like button because we're having an inquest. We're having an inquest of what went wrong last night. And look, don't be shy. I like Neville. I like your comments. I like the fact that you're giving us a different perspective. I always respect everyone who comes in and gives me a different perspective. Same thing with Niche. Sometimes we're not always on the same page, and I respect that. I don't want this to turn into an echo chamber where everybody is agreeing with me or agreeing with Neville or agreeing with Rick or agreeing with Jim or agreeing with Niche or anybody else. I want everyone to have their say. You're welcome to have your say. I don't want anyone to feel shy or embarrassed. This is a Man United fan base, and we get to share our comments and share our thoughts. Look, I have best friends who support Man United, and we disagree on who's good and who's not. That doesn't mean I stop talking to them. That doesn't mean I fall out with them. I'll have a heated debate with them about who's the best ever United player, and I'll be like, oh, you're effing this and you're effing that and you're effing this, but after the conversation, we'd laugh it off, and because we all know where we want United to be. So it's not about who's right and who's wrong. It's not about Nishi saying this and he's wrong or he's right, and someone else has said Neville is saying this. I know all of you. I know all of your hearts in the right place, and that is you want to see United succeed. We all do the watch-alongs. We're all the same. We're all the same. We could be complaining right now about Ruben Amorim, about the players, but the moment we start winning, we'll all be 100% behind our team, and that's what it means to be a Man United fan. That's why we are one of the best fan bases around, guys, because we back our team to the next level. We back our managers to the next level. We do that. But unfortunately, sometimes you have to discuss these hard topics, and we are in a process of going through a run of forms which is too dramatic. It's too up and down. We need before Sir Alex Ferguson, we had the same issues. The cycle keeps rolling. Rick, yeah. It does. Neville says, right, but Travis, on everything you're saying, comparing us to City, Chelsea, etc., and can Amorim take us no further? Look at their squad. Look, why I've given Amorim a wide berth, and I still, to some extent, do, is because of the current squad. I know that these players are shit. I know most of them are shit. I know if we can all agree on that, when we sit down and start discussing, immediately, I know all of you will drop at least 5 to 6 names in this squad that you want out immediately. And same with me. If you ask me, there's more players that we would probably get rid of than keep. And that says something about this squad. And yeah, that is if you look at the trajectory, if we look at United having played in the last 5 to 10 years, one thing's remained consistent, and that is the squad. We've had the same players play under different managers and still screw us up. And there's only so much, I guess, Ruben Amorim can tell him. There's no way Ruben Amorim is saying pre-match, I need to see aggression. I need to see the team start fast. I need to see them get stuck in and then go in to his own dressing room and say, guys, do you know what? I've just said this in press conference about you guys getting in there. But do you know what? Do you know what? Let's just take it easy. Let's not put out that out there. So yeah, look, for me that is it. For me, I get upset by watching United and seeing this, seeing the way we're playing. It just upsets me. It upsets me, and I want us to do better. I do want us to do better. Dave says Ineos should just take a step back and leave the. Ineos I swear they've screwed us over. They've screwed us over, and the problem with it all is that Ineos are gaslighting us all. They're accepting. They want us to be happy with the current state and the current squad, and they want us to just simply hold back off everything. Sal from Stratford Post told a man to stop having this man-down mentality. Let us back the manager and players to turn this around. Our support will help build confidence. Welcome, Sal. I know you've got your own channel. Thank you for joining us today. I always followed you for some time, and I appreciate your content. I think I've actually had a chat with you on one of the Twitter spaces once, and a very nice chap. So guys, if you don't follow Sal, go and check out his channel as well. Does some great content. So appreciate you being on, by the way, and thank you for joining our community. Let us know your thoughts, Sal, on the game yesterday. I know you're saying, we've got to have a different mentality. Sal, let me just quickly go back on that comment. Actually, you said this. Stratford Post told man to stop having man-down mentality. Let us back the manager and players to turn this around. Our support will help build confidence. Oh, I get what you're saying. Sal. But what's your take on it? Are you saying back the manager fully, despite what we're seeing? Are we going to continue doing what we're going to... if we carry on doing what we're doing, something has to change. Is the manager... Do you believe the manager's asking for something behind closed doors? Because what I'm hoping for is that he's sat there behind closed doors with the board saying, you idiots, you need to back me. I need new players. Look at me. Look at the options I've got off the bench. I've got nobody. Why not bring me some more options? Just give me some more options, because I feel like that's what's missing. Neville says, we had the exodus of the worst bad apples this summer. This summer we need to see the likes of Dalot and Shaw and Maguire and the deadweight players will fix the midfield and wing backs. Yes, okay, that's some positivity. Gives me a bit of hope, Neville. Gives me a bit of hope. I must admit, it makes me feel slightly more... Yeah. Lets me look. All I want to see is some light at the end of the tunnel. I want to see something where we can grasp onto and say, I know where we're going. The Ruben Amorim thing about, look, the storm is coming, and then he said, look, the storm's over, and now that's what I want. I want to see something. United Mendham, stop this nonsense or you're blocked and reported. Travis, this isn't Sal. This is a troll that's using Sal's picture and going in streams talking nonsense. I get it. Okay, Dave, thank you very much for that. Jim, if you can block him. I did think, wait up, why is he mentioning Stratford Post? I spoke to Sal before on a number of occasions, but I thought he's never used that. He would have used his he would have used his channel. But anyway, I got confused there. But yeah, thank you for that, Dave. Thank you for that. Look, Neville says, yes, we need to back the manager because he's only been back halfway, and with what he's been given, he's had a massive difference already. Ignore this fool, Dave. Yeah, thanks, Dave. Thanks, Dave, for that. Yeah, thank you, guys. Thank you, guys. First of all, I want to appreciate you guys out there. Seriously, everybody. It's been hard. It's been hard to watch United play yesterday. And this is why I love doing these live streams. Because, if I'm sat there on my own, just kind of, not hearing anybody else's opinions or not hearing somebody else tell me, look, it'll improve, Travis. Don't worry, things will change. I could be just sat here thinking, right, this is it. This is the end of it all. We need players, guys. We need players. We need to. Yeah, we need a squad. We haven't got a squad. We haven't got the players. And I know people kind of come out saying, oh, we've added to the squad and we should be good enough. But we still got the usual suspects still doing what they do. And they don't give a crap. They don't give a crap about what we're like on the pitch. There's no urgency. There's no urgency in making sure, well, all right, we've got that first goal. Let's go and get another goal. And let's make sure we don't lose a goal. Let's make sure we don't lose a goal. Yesterday's performance was shocking because if you were doing the watch along with me, look, I was like watching it thinking, oh, we've got this in the bag. We've got this. I was confident. And I think that's what hurt even more. I think that's what shocked me. Do you know when you're like almost cocky confident? Where you're like, yeah, we've got this. We've got this. Is this West Ham we're talking about? You know, no way. They've had barely one shot on target in the first half. They've not caused our defence any problems. I can't remember Senny Lemons having to make a major save. So yes, I became complacent, and yes, I just thought, right, do you know what? I'm just gonna have. I just thought we're gonna have an easy run, but we didn't, and we lost it. We lost it at the last hurdle, man. We were so banking it. We were banking the game, man. But we are seeing progress. Rick says it might be slow, but we're getting better. Patience is important. Wise words there, Rick. Wise words. People can't want the revolving door of the managers to continue. 3 years under Amrin is the right move. He's made improvements massively with limited resources this season. I still believe in this guy. Travis, we appreciate you, bro. It's healthy for us to all chat. And I can't lie, my mental health has taken such a dip, being so immobile right now with the injury, and your stream helps my day so much. Well, look, Neville, seriously, I want you to get better. Keep yourself busy. It's not easy being injured and being out of it. I remember a time when I broke my wrist, and yeah, when you can't do half the things that you used to do and getting up and doing whatever, it's very difficult. But look, keep your head up, you know, and we're always here to have, you know, keep you entertained. Thanks, Travis, and the chat. Great show today. Take care. This Canadian is going to bed now. Well, enjoy your sleep. Hope you you know, get a decent night's sleep, and are ready for the next game. Join us. Thanks for joining us, Rick, by the way. Neville, I feel like this is why so many of us are up in arms, because it looked like it was a matter of time before we scored a second and buried it, and just didn't take the chances. Bruno snatching at the chances. Yeah, look, we've just not been the team that we would look like we were gonna go and do. We just simply haven't. I mean, there's lots of question marks still over the players. What's their mentality like? Why are they so weak? And then we get Ruben Amorim, whose changes are poor. He has to work on that, because for me, that's where the problem lies. His changes. But then again, his argument will probably be, like Neville has said, we haven't got the players. He hasn't got them at his disposal. He hasn't got the likes of a squad like Man City or Liverpool or Chelsea, where he can take off like for like, if not replace them with even better. You know, we saw the bench yesterday. He had about 4-5 defensive players. He had one attacking player in Mount and Lacey probably as well. The poor quality bench at the same time. Yeah, we've got absolute awful bench yesterday. I saw it and immediately I pointed it out. I mean, normally I don't look at the bench. Normally I don't look at the bench and start saying things like, "Oh, look, you know what? We've got a poor bench. We're not good." But yesterday, I remember with Jim, we looked over at the bench, and I'm sure we all discussed it on the watch along and said, our bench isn't really good, is it? I mean, that's a weird bench to look at because we didn't really have any attacking options. And we were a bit, I realised we needed better players immediately at that point. I looked at it and thought, imagine if one or two of our first team players gets injured. What's really worrying is, and I think this is where my frustrations lie with Ruben Amorim and the team and everything, and why even the title is what it is, and why I'm pissed, is because I know what's to come. That's why, and I know we've got to remain positive, and I'm trying my best, but I also see this and I look at it and think, we're going to lose our best players next week. What are we going to do then? How can this team go from this to even worse? And that is losing Mbumo, losing Ahmad, losing Mazraoui. Poor bloke Mazraoui yesterday, he had a decent game, I thought. He was one of the players I thought on the team that played well. We've got problems coming up, guys. We've got to accept that. We've got to accept that we cannot walk in. We're not walking out of this storm anytime soon. We are in the midst of the storm. And Ruben Amorim, in his post-match press conference, wasn't convincing. He wasn't convincing. In fact, what I was going to do today is just go through the press conference together. But then I'm just going to scrap that because we all know what he said. It wasn't a long press conference, but he looked exhausted. He looked like a man out of ideas. He looked like a man who's almost given up on these players. I just feel like we need something to change. And if Ineos cannot see what's going on, then we've got problems. I'm just hoping that Ineos can look at this and say, right, we need to go in, we need to pull the checkbook out. We need to go out and get the players, or else we're going to be dropping even further. I'm huge on staying positive, but you're right, Travis. We've every right to be pissed off. 6 points dropped from being in the lead. This is clearly a mentality thing, and the quality of the subs is bad. Yeah, look, let's stay positive, but at the same time, let's keep the pressure on Ineos because we need to sign some players. Because from where I'm sitting, where I'm looking, we're going to struggle. We're going to struggle come the turn of the new year. What are we going to do if we do not put the? There's only one positive that I can look at from all of this, and that is that there's no sugarcoating going on. We can see what's going on. There's no way of Ineos gaslighting us, telling us that we've got a good enough squad and that we've got good enough players to not sign anybody in the January transfer window. That is what is the best thing that's happening right now. At least we know that, look, we are not good as a squad and we need to improve. And I think if we were winning these games, I think we would be wallpapering over the cracks and the real problems that we have, deep lying problems at United. And I think Ineos would have completely overlooked that and said, we don't need to go and sign anybody in the January transfer window. And I think that's where I'm looking at. That's the positive. I look at it and think, okay, at least Ineos can't get away with it. At least Ineos can't point blank lie to us and say everything's fine, right? And Neville says, Travis, hitting the nail on the head, mate. I think this January window will show us exactly how ambitious Ineos actually are. It's their opportunity to prove to us lot that they're the guys for the job. Let's hope so. Let's hope so. I'm going to leave it there, guys. We're almost hitting the hour mark. Thank you for everyone joining. It's been a pleasure once again. We'll be back again. Of course, it's going to be fast because it's Friday today. We've got Saturday and Sunday, and then we've got Monday night football, and it's a big game against Wolves. Let's see what United can do against Wolves. It's going to be a big one again. But anyway, thanks everyone for joining us, and hopefully we'll be back tomorrow with another